What is going on, Sagittarius? It's Chris Anthony coming at you guys live and direct. This is going to be your reading for the second half of September. We're going to be hopping into your energy, seeing what messages are being conveyed through the cards, and hopefully we can bring some clarity for you guys moving on from September into October. Sag, you came out pretty strong last month. I definitely appreciate you guys coming out that strong. I think you guys got like over 5,000 views, so that is major. I never got that out of Sagittarius before, so thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you guys are back again. Like always, this is going to be a general reading and it may not resonate with everyone, but if it does resonate with you, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, comment on the channel. If it doesn't resonate, you can always check out your rising or moon sign or one of the previous readings that I did for Sagittarius on the channel. If you guys don't follow me on IG already, you should follow me at chrisanthony14lbs. That's Chris Anthony 14 pounds. I do daily posts over there that are, spiritual in nature, if you guys like that. And if you want to set up a private reading with me, you can always email me about that. That's going to be in the description of the video, all of the details about setting that up. All right, let's do it. This is going to be your present energy right here, your main storyline that we're tapping into first. After that, we're going to be tuning into your futuristic energy here on the left side, your supporting details in that column. And then at the end, you guys will have a fairy card. You have the King of Spring. All right, and we're hopping right in. So crowning your reading, you do have the Death card, Major Arcana, clarified by the Six of Cups. So for you guys, I do feel like there is some type of transformation that's happening in your love life, that's happening around your soulmates, the soulmates that you attract in, right? The soulmates that maybe you have dealt with already. We all know that you don't get a limited amount of soulmates in this life, right? A soulmate could be a lover, a family member, a friend, anybody that falls in that category. It could be a child, right? But I do feel like what happened for you guys around the Pisces full moon energy has to do with your transformations in relationships, right? In those deep soul tie relationships, right? The people that you choose to have around you, the people that you choose to keep in your life or to expel out of your life, right? Maybe there's some clarity that came in around this area, right? So I do feel like there has been some major endings and new beginnings, especially with the Pisces full moon. There was a lot of ending and new beginning, death and rebirth energy, right? So some newer energy is definitely coming in, right? And some older energy is like being done away with. Timelines are definitely collapsing when it comes down to your relationships, specifically for a lot of you guys to love, right? There's this transformation that's happening. You have the Six of Cups here, right? Which is talking about a soulmate relationship that maybe you have with someone, right? And either this relationship is ending for some of you guys and it's just wrapping up. It's like something that has ran its course. You're just like, okay, it's the end. It's nothing else there. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, right? There's no more energy there. This person is not giving, or I no longer want to give. Let's just wrap it up, right? Let's just end it. So the Death card is here. And then on the other end, I do feel like that there is some type of rebirth for some of you guys that's happening around the soulmate relationships. But overall, this is just your soulmates in general. I do feel like that you've completed a certain karmic cycle when it comes down to the type of soulmates you have attracted into your life, because this is a deeper energy that I feel. I don't feel that this has to be specific to one person, although it may be for you, but I feel like there's a depth to the certain soulmates you've been attracting for a while now, right? Maybe they have come in to teach you certain karmic lessons, to clear a certain amount of karma, Maybe they've come in because they were suitable for that time period that you found yourself in, right? But the thing is that Saturn is going direct, right? Saturn has been retrograde for the last 5 months, so there's been a lot of karmic wrap-ups, a lot of karmic lessons that we have had time to review, to look into, to play around with, right? Saturn has just kind of went on vacation. So the thing is that when he goes direct, which is happening September 18th, then this is bringing in a brand new cycle. It's bringing in a brand new karmic cycle, right? So you're going to have some new soulmates coming in for a lot of you guys. And these new soulmates have so much to do with the new cycle that you're moving into personally, right? The energy that you're attracting now when it comes down to people that you want around you or that are suitable to be around you is going to be brand new. And I'm going to get into the rest of the cards so we don't just get stuck here. But that's what's crowning your reading. That's what overall is overarching when it comes down to your energy. Now, we come down here with the Seven of Wands energy clarified by the Seven of Cups. So there has been a little bit of defense maybe when it comes down to the people that you've been allowing to come into your life, right? You've been on guard because maybe some of the older soulmates that have been in your life hasn't been too pleasant, right? Maybe it started off great, but then it ended up being this huge karmic lesson that brought you pain, that brought you despair, that taught you another lesson about yourself, about how you don't love yourself and how you haven't, you know how it goes, right? It was another lesson in self-love over and over again until you kept getting the lesson, right? Or until you got the lesson. So I feel like there's a sense that you kept kind of like bumping your head on a brick wall over and over again. It was some lesson that maybe the universe was trying to teach you through different lovers, through different soulmates, through different friends or family members that you just were not getting. And because of that, you started to get on guard about new people coming into your life. You're like, you know what? I don't want another lesson again. I mean, I'm cool. If I'm not going to learn this karmic lesson, then I'm better off by myself. I could do bad all by myself, right? This is kind of what I'm picking up. So you were kind of closed off to anybody new coming in, especially when it came down to love, right? Because you didn't know what cup to choose. Seven of Cups energy. You didn't know who was going to come in to be the person that you can actually team up with, have a divine partnership with, and they will actually love you, and it could be a balanced relationship, as opposed to one of those imbalanced relationships where you have to give and the other person is not giving, and then now it's a lesson between giving and receiving, and now you have to pull back and go heal yourself because you got to give yourself self-love, and this person hasn't matured enough because they're immature and they don't know how to love and give, and you know how it goes, that whole merry-go-round. So you were just like, you know what, just everybody stay away from me. I don't want your offer or this offer or that offer. Just leave me alone. So there was a little bit of confusion here too. A little bit of illusion here too, where the people offering you things, you didn't have the details, right? It wasn't clear to you. There was not any clarity here, and instead of going down the rabbit hole and finding out at the end of the tunnel that it's not what you thought it would be, you were just like, I'm good, keep it, whatever you got, universe. When it comes down to love, I am okay. Like, I don't want to go through it again. And you were just closed off, right? So we have the Seven of Cups energy here once again. The difference this time, though, is that there is a brand new cycle that is coming in. Saturn is going direct. This Pisces full moon in Virgo has just passed. And so Pisces is the planet of illusions, right? Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. But the thing was that it was based in Virgo, which is very grounded, very realistic. So it cut out a lot of illusions with this energy that was in Pisces with this full moon. So some things are becoming clear to you, and there is one cup that is coming forward to you to choose out of this confusion, out of this cloudiness, out of these illusions that maybe were not all good for you. And I believe you did the right thing with being on the defense and saying like, wait a minute, there's no clarity here. I'm not moving forward and making any decisions until there is clarity that comes in. I'm going to protect myself. Now that's self-love. I think you've learned the lesson, Sagittarius, right? So the thing that's happening now is the clarity is coming in. The clouds are moving on, right? Saturn is going direct. This is going to be some of the most clear times that we're having, right, as the collective, with Saturn going direct, bringing in this new karmic cycle, bringing in your next assignment, right, your next mission, moving forward with more clarity in your life. So there's going to be one of these cups that comes forward with the most clarity, Ace of Cups, right, with the biggest potential to offer you emotional fulfillment. So there's a new cycle of soulmate energy that's coming towards you, right? Through this rebirth that you've just experienced around this Pisces full moon. That's bringing in this clarity for this, maybe this new person for you that's coming in, right? Or just this new energy that you have with attracting true love, right? In the real sense, right? The most realist way is what I feel that you guys want, like just the most balanced way. We don't need the fairy tales, we don't need the illusion, right? We don't need the happily ever after, like, even though that is something that exists inside of love, but you want the most balanced love is what I feel like you were looking for, which is why you were on the defense. You're like, this doesn't seem balanced to me. This doesn't seem clear. It doesn't seem stable. So this new cup that's coming in, Ace of Cups, seems like a stable relationship for some of you guys that's coming in, being offered, coming out of the clouds, coming out of the smoke. And it's also a big potential for longevity here, for this thing to last. Some of you guys could be running into a divine partnership, closing out September, going into October. And if it's not happening yet, then you actually are taking on that energy to attract it. This is what I'm feeling, because the confusion around love that has happened maybe for a while now, the confusion around the soulmate energy is clearing up. So your level of discernment is actually at a peak now, is what I feel, where you're ready to choose. You're ready to choose what cup matches you the most. And this has come, I believe, through a lot of work on your behalf. This Seven of Wands here talks about you developing a skill, you developing self-mastery. This is what I see with this person fighting off all these wands and going through all these challenges and going through this gauntlet, right, that was set up for you to develop, and dodging all these bullets of these soulmates that were not here for your highest good. You guys have done well, Sagittarius. Like, I like this. You didn't let it get too far. The people that you have dealt with that maybe were there just for a lesson, you didn't let yourself get too far down that rabbit hole. You stayed on a higher ground. You stayed elevated. You stayed kind of unsmeared by the dirt of whatever was attached to these other people that were just not for you. And so this developed a certain skill that you have now, which is discernment, to see right off the back who is for you and who is against you, whether that's family, friends, lovers, whatever, co-workers. It's like, you know who has that Ace of Cups and who has that Page of Cups, right? what matches your energy and what does not. So I like this because what you guys have developed is this high level of discernment, intuition in relationships through the challenges of relationships that have happened in this older karmic cycle that is now being put to rest. And it definitely could have been one soulmate that put you through all this work. Or it could have been multiple soulmates, 7 of them to be exact. Maybe over a course of 10 years, right? So 10 of Wands, a completion is here, wrapping up this 5 of Swords energy where there's no winner. Maybe you've been in relationships in the past where there was nobody who came out on top. You were like, why did I invest all this time? Why did you play these little silly games when you're not coming out on top and I'm not coming out on top? And then we both just walking away empty-handed, right? We both end up going back to our corners like, what in the... I almost just really cursed. Because I feel you, Sagittarius. But yeah, so it's been a burdensome cycle. But it's not like the 10 of Swords, which is very good because, like I said, you didn't get too deep into these little relationships or this big relationship, whatever it is for you. You didn't allow yourself to get carried away. You didn't allow this person to do a lot of damage, but they did enough damage to teach you a certain lesson because this was a Saturn cycle that you were in, right? Learning, training, developing, working, lifting to develop these muscles of discernment. And now that it's completing, you're completing this cycle of walking away empty-handed, 5 of Swords, lower vibrational energy where nothing makes it to completion. It makes it halfway and then there's a turning away, right? This is what I feel like you've been in a cycle of, but it's been for your betterment, for your training. And so I do like that there is the King of Swords energy here, which I feel like you're definitely taking on a certain energy of. You could also be dealing with the air sign, a King of Swords type of energy, but there is some love here if you're dealing with the air sign because the Lover's card is here. Strong, spiritual, deep connection. We've seen it multiple times. But from a deeper point of view, I feel that you guys are looking at love relationships, deep, profound, spiritual, soulmate, twin flame love relationships from a more logical point of view. This was your lesson. Like, you're more level-headed. Okay, sorry about that, Sagittarius. My camera cut off, but this was getting pretty good, right? So, King of Swords energy, right? Lover's card. So, I do feel like you guys are taking on more of a logical approach when it comes down to these deep soulmate connections that you've been finding yourself run into. And you've learned that there's a certain amount of balance that needs to be implemented within these type of connections. Even though they're spiritual, they're deep, it's a strong attraction, it's a deep bond, emotional, what's the word? There's an emotional compatibility that's here, spiritual, mentally. Some of you guys have really dealt with this twin flame journey maybe, or these deep soulmates that come around and they've triggered you, right? And they brought up some of the deep fears surrounding love and some of the trauma. And you've learned valuable lessons, even though some of it was very painful. So now you come into this new cycle of connections and love and soulmates that may be coming your way, suitors, let's just say. And you're very emotionally detached. Like, for lack of better words, you're taking on the observer role. The King of Swords is the master observer. And so even if you're involved and connected emotionally or mentally or physically, you're still taking on this type of detached observer mode when it comes down to the relationships, to kind of see it from the outside looking in. This is what you have developed. This is the discernment that you have kind of like worked on through this older karmic cycle. So you will always kind of have a level of detachment even in the deepest love relationship, because you're like looking at it from the outside, like, okay, like I see that we have this strong attraction, and I see that we want each other, and we can't, not be around each other and all this good stuff. But what else? Like, what is the downside to this? What needs to be worked on? Like, what is the thing that doesn't work? Because I can definitely see, and I'm attracted to everything that does work for this relationship, but what is the thing that I may have a problem with later on down the line with you, right? What is the shadow side or the shadow element of this attraction? So this is what I'm feeling like. You're taking on a very good viewpoint when it comes down to partnership and relationships, because I feel like there has been a season where you only saw the love, right? The attraction, the passion, the sexual intimacy, the divine connection of it all, and it was all great. But then it's like you ran into little hiccups. Like, wait a minute, like I thought this was supposed to be divine. But it turned out to be a whole bunch of burdens. And that was for a reason. It was a certain cycle, right? So this is what you're taking on. Also, for other Sagittarius, there could be an air sign you're dealing with that you have this strong soulmate connection with. That you feel this is the one. And possibly there could be a transformation that's happening with this person that you already know, because Six of Cups a lot of times is talking about somebody that's already in your energy, nobody that's really new. This is for, a select few that could possibly be an air sign, but doesn't have to be, but is very logical and emotional detached and maybe cold in certain ways. And there could be a transformation happening around that connection. But in the general readings, I don't like to really get too far off in a specific person because it's so general. If you have questions about that, email me to get a more personal reading on that one. But that could possibly be happening for some of you guys. Let's keep it moving. Futuristic energy, we have the Seven of Wands. That's the Nine of Wands. We have the Four of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and then the Page of Wands, ending it off for you. Nine of Wands energy with the King of Cups. So this may be someone else here, right? That is more emotional. Maybe wants to have a more emotional connection with you, or this may be the energy that you're taking on at the same time you're taking on the King of Swords, because I kind of really touched on the balance of how you're viewing relationships now. And so for some of you guys with the Nine of Wands, because you've been through so much and you've earned your stripes in love, earned your stripes in karmic connections, and you fought the good fight, right? You're still standing. You're the wounded warrior. You have this certain level of emotional maturity taking on the King of Cups energy, right? Where you have balanced your emotions through trials and tests and challenges. And so now there's an emotional depth that you can go to without getting lost in the current and getting lost in the waves. And you can bring yourself back to your center point. And this has mostly to do with healing. There has been a lot of emotional trauma that has been healed over the course of this karmic cycle that you've been in with these lovers and soulmates. All right. And for some of you guys, you could be dealing with a water sign. Just want to throw that out there. Uh, Four of Pentacles energy here with the Nine of Wands again. So through the struggle and all of these wars and battles that you have fought in love, it has created a certain level of closed defensive energy with you, Four of Pentacles, right? Where you haven't really been letting anybody in because you're like, forget this, like I'm good with my pinnacle right here. Like I'm good. I'm good with my self-love. But also, like I was talking about before, I always see the Four of Pentacles as a certain level of skillfulness and mastery. Because for this person to balance that pinnacle on their head and have it perfectly aligned with the pinnacle in their hand and sit on those two pinnacles on their feet, there is like a lot of lessons that have been learned. So you're like, I protect myself now because of what I have learned in the past. I'm not just going to give this pinnacle away or my heart away or open up myself to just anybody, right? I'm past that point. But you've graduated. Six of Wands energy, there's a certain level of graduation, moving on, right? Recognition from the universe, and you're definitely headed to your Ten of Pentacles, your abundance, your fulfillment when it comes down to what you want out of life, what you envision for yourself, whether that's a balanced love relationships, a marriage, a family with someone, a stable job, all the good stuff. Ten of Pentacles is that blueprint for your life that you're definitely headed towards because there's been a certain completion. A lot of you guys have completed a certain karmic cycle financially too. Ten of Pentacles is completing financially on one tax bracket, right? Maybe you've been at between 30 and 40,000 for years, and you've been working, trying to get to a higher tax bracket of 50, 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, right? Into six figures. And some of you guys are headed towards that direction because of the karmic things that you've overcome, that you've learned, the lessons. So you are victorious. You receive recognition. You receive your graduation cap. Your coronation is here. And you're moving into this next cycle, the next 10 years of your life. Or next karmic cycle, no matter how long this is. So congratulations, Sagittarius, right? You've wrapped up one thing, a new one is coming in. And this is the new thing that's here, the Page of Wands. Some new idea comes in, some new relationship, some new path that you're focused on. Page of Wands that is going to grow for you very quickly because you're coming in with this level of abundance and skillfulness and mastery. But you're grabbing hold to something new. And this comes from the level of balance that has come within your internal and external world. You're quite balanced moving forward. I like this Temperance. You've healed yourself a lot. You've done a lot of work. And this is also the Sagittarius card right here, right? So this is you. And all of your splendor, right, and glory, right? So you definitely have this new level of authenticity, new level of discernment and mastery and skillfulness, and you're about to put all of this into something that you're working on, that you're passionate about, I feel. For some of you guys, it's projects. It could be a job or career. It could be just a newer relationship or just a newfound point of view and way of moving and maneuvering with people, because I feel this strongly that this was kind of like an overall relationship reading. Your relationships with everyone, even your relationship with yourself, is going to be differently. I think you hold yourself to a different standard now from all the lessons you've learned. You value yourself even more. And so anything that takes you out of balance with yourself, that causes disharmony with yourself, you're not going to be dealing with it anymore. You're cutting it out. He who is at harmony with himself is at harmony with the universe. You understand this now. Temperance. And so you have a new beginning. Let's go to your fairy card. It says King of Spring. Innovative, inspiring, wise, theatrical. A financial windfall. Your leadership skills are needed now. An unexpected supporter of your cause. So this is what's up, right? This may definitely be that King of Cups energy here, or that's what I'm feeling. And I don't know if the King of Spring is the King of Cups or King of Pentacles in this deck, but you could be dealing with earth or water or air. But there may be someone here, or this is just the energy you're taking on. Look at it. I think that's you, to be honest, Sagittarius. So get a glimpse of your future, right? Of this abundance, of this spiritual enlightenment, of this confidence that you carry moving forward, and this staff in your hand, right? This is the lessons you've learned and the wisdom you carry. Let's go, Sagittarius. I'm wrapping it up right there. Hopefully that resonated with you guys. If so, like, share, subscribe, comment as always. If you need a personal reading, email me about that. I will see you guys in October.